when you extract the trial balance, the totals, it is said to be the proof that there was proper double-entry. The assumption that the totals, the trial balance totals will not agree on the assumption that when they have agreed, there is no error. Sometimes you have errors that occur and still the trial balance balances. So for the correction of errors, we're going to start with errors not affecting the trial balance. So such that when these errors are there, your trial balance still balances. One of them, or you can call them errors which do not affect the trial balance totals. Errors that do not affect the trial balance totals. So they need to be corrected. And we don't correct the error by tearing the page or cancellation. We have a process of correcting the errors. But let's first of all look at those errors one by one, which do not affect the trial balance. Number one, we have the error of omission. Error of omission. When this one occurs, this is an error that occurs when the transaction is completely omitted from the books of accounts. So if you omit a transaction in the books of accounts, it has neither a debit or a credit entry anywhere. Your trial balance will agree. A good example is that if you bought something like a motor van for 900,000 shillings, and you neither debit the motor van account nor credit the cash account, then your trial balance will agree, but already you have made error. That is an error of omission. We have error of principle. Error of principle. This occurs when we enter a transaction in the wrong class of accounts, but we still observe the double entry. A good example is when you purchase a furniture. Purchase of furniture, this is a fixed asset. Okay? The normal course of things, you should debit the furniture account and credit cash, isn't it?
Yeah.
But instead, what you debited purchases of a credit cash. Okay. So at the extract trial balance, it is balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is the error of principle. When we place the transaction in the wrong class of accounts. We have the error of omission. Error of omission. So the error of omission, it occurs when the correct amount is entered, but in the wrong person's personal account, for the account in the same class of account. Examples. When you sell goods to somebody called maybe Rono, that's your data, okay? And then you have another person with an almost similar name. This is J. Rono, okay? And then you have somebody else called P. Rono, okay? Those are two different customers.
Yeah.
So you sell to this one, you're supposed to debit his account and credit sales account. But instead of debiting here, you came and debited here. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you are extracting the trial balance, your trial balance will balance. But you have overcharged this part. Now, when we have such a scenario, this person, when you have an error of omission, how do you correct it? You just go to you open the relevant journal entries and I add those accounts. The error of principle, this one was furniture. Purchases couldn't be 90,000. Furniture had nothing. Okay? The double entry was there. Isn't it? 90. Okay? Now, we want to correct this amount. We want to remove it here and put it here. Okay? So when we are correcting the errors, we open a book called General Journal. We talked about journals.
Yeah.
Written in what journal? Sales journal, purchases journal, and general journal. One of the uses of general journal, we said, it is the acquisition of fixed assets. That's when you put them there. And also, issue of shares, isn't it? That's how we did issue of shares before the final journal entries. Okay. And also there is also the correction of errors. Okay? A journal looks like this. Isn't it? These are details, debits, and credits. Okay? So if you want to correct this error, now we are here, you want to remove this amount here and put it here. What are you going to do? You are going to debit furniture account 90,000 and credit purchases. Okay, purchases 90,000. In that, when you do that here, in our locker, and then now it comes here. So when you're correcting the errors, you do it in the journal. Okay? And then you give the narration. It's correction of error where purchases account was debited instead of furniture account. Now, and of course, here we have the date. The date when this error was corrected, it will be shown in the journals. Okay? Yeah. Then now, when we are correcting the error of commission, this is this one. You sold items to J. Rono for 6,000. 60,000, okay? For J. Rono for 60,000. But you debited P. Rono accounts and credited sales account. Now you have to remove it here. So what you are going to do, you debit J. Rono account and credit P. Rono. And then you give the narration. Then we have compensating error. Number 4. Compensating. So these are the errors that cancel each other. Like an error that overstates both the credits and the debits, or the error that understates both the debits or the credits. Sasa, it happens like this. When J. Rono bought the goods, he bought goods worth 50,000. Okay? But wewe ulikuja ukaandika 60,000. Okay? Ukaandika hapa na ukaandika hapa. Or sometimes you get an error. Hapa, if you add all these totals, yeah, they will become to 113, 462. Okay? 400. Okay? But there was an error here when you're calculating that. Okay? Again, at the same time, when you're doing the purchases, okay, we have the items that are here. Okay? And then you got this total. Okay? But when you are doing here, you had done a mistake of 1,000 here. And another mistake of 1,000 here. Okay? So you overstated debtors, we know of them when at the end of the month or at the end of any period, you now start going through your vouchers and so that you keep things in order. Then you come and look at this one. So this total was okay. Then another 10. Oh, so this is where this thing imported. Yeah, that is what you do. This is called the compensating. We can have a situation whereby you overstate. You overstate here by 1,000 and also overstate here by 1,000. Yeah. Because ukitoa the total credits, this was more by 1,000. Okay? At the same time, the total sales, they were more by 1,000. Okay? Incidentally. That is when the compensating error comes. An account with the debit side and an account with credits. Yeah. So you can happen to overstate these debtors and at the same time you overstate the creditors or understate, whichever the case. Yeah, that is a compensating error. Then we have the error of original entry. This one, they occur when the original figure is incorrect, yet the double entry is still observed using the incorrect figure. Sasa, this figure was 50,000. Yeah? But you posted 60,000 here and also 60,000 here. That is, you put an incorrect figure and then you maintained double entry using the incorrect figure. That one, it will be an error of original entry. And how do you correct it? If it was supposed to be 50,000, how are you going to correct it? You go to the journal. So if it was supposed to be 50,000, here you are going to credit what? 10, isn't it? Yeah. And also here you debit 10. Yeah. So on the journal, you debit sales with the amount, credit Jairono with the amount, and give the narration. Correction of error by Jairono. Our account was overstated by 10,000. At the same time, the sales account was also. Or the error of original entry where the amount of 60,000, 50,000 was entered as 60,000. Now corrected. Then we have an error of complete reversal. This error occurs when the correct amount is posted in the correct account but in the wrong side of the account. So these goods that were sold to Rono, instead of debiting his account, they credit. Okay? Yeah. So the correct amount in the correct account but in the wrong side. So this one will appear like here and here. Okay? So to correct the error, instead of debiting this account and crediting this account, we debited this account and we credited Rono and debited sales. Okay? Now we want sales to reflect 6,000 on the credit side. Isn't it? And the same thing we want Jairono to reflect 6,000 on the debit side. So we are going to debit 12,000. So that you can have now the 6,000 on the credit side. What I mean by 120,000, it means I debit here 6,000, it cancels.
Oh yeah.
Then I have to debit another 6,000. Okay? So what we normally do, we just double the amount here. Okay? 12,000. So that now our balance will be 6,000. The account now will show that it has 6,000. So you give your narration here. Okay? Yeah. We have another error called transposition. There's another error. and it's a special type of error of original entry, and it occurs when the wrong sequence of individual characters in figure is entered. An example is entering 870 or 8,700 as 7,800. This is the transposition error. Instead of putting this figure here, put it like this. Okay? Yeah. So, now here, we have sold the goods worth 8,700. Then you come and put here, like this. Okay? Like this. Okay? Then when you're going through your vouchers, you discover this invoice. See, tunatumia na statement. The letters, you give them the statement of account. Then kwa statement yake, hapa nilikosea. It was supposed to be. So how are you going to do it? You debit 900 here and credit, and then you give the narration. So those are the errors that do not affect the trial balance. So normally, this question comes in Kasnet questions, and it normally comes with it is mostly theory. They explain the errors, or maybe, everything you have just explained. Okay? Yeah.